For more than 4,000 years, one golden root has been treasured across Asia, not just as a spice, but as one of the most fascinating medicinal plants ever studied. Ancient healers ground it into paste and rubbed it onto wounds. Traders carried it along the Silk Road as if it were currency. Entire religious ceremonies were built around its color. And today, in laboratories scattered across the globe, scientists continue to investigate what these ancient civilizations seem to understand instinctively, long before anyone had ever heard the word antioxidant. This is the story of turmeric, the golden spice that refuses to fade into history. Turmeric, known scientifically as Curcuma longa, is a flowering plant belonging to the ginger family, Zingiberaceae. It grows natively across South and Southeast Asia, particularly in India, where it thrives in warm, humid climates and well-drained tropical soil. India remains the world's largest producer and consumer of turmeric to this day, and if you travel through its countryside during harvest season, you will see fields glowing faintly orange beneath the sun, the unmistakable sign that turmeric roots are being pulled from the earth. This plant became famous not simply because of its vivid color, but because of what that color represents. Turmeric owes its brilliant golden orange hue to a compound called curcumin, and it is this single compound that would eventually make turmeric one of the most extensively studied medicinal plants in modern scientific history. To understand turmeric, it helps to understand its physical structure. The part of the plant most people recognize is not technically a root at all, but a rhizome, an underground stem that grows horizontally beneath the soil, sending out shoots above ground and roots below. These rhizomes are thick, knobby, and segmented, somewhat similar in shape to ginger, though when sliced open, they reveal a deep orange interior rather than ginger's pale yellow flesh. Above the soil, turmeric produces broad, elegant, lance-shaped leaves that can grow quite tall, sometimes reaching up to 3 feet in height, forming dense, tropical-looking clusters. During the growing season, turmeric produces striking pale yellow or white flowers, often surrounded by pink or green bracts, giving the plant an almost exotic ornamental appearance despite its humble reputation as a kitchen spice. Turmeric is typically grown from pieces of rhizome rather than seeds, planted in warm soil during the rainy season, and it takes roughly 8 to 10 months for the rhizomes to mature underground before they are ready for harvest. Once harvested, the rhizomes are boiled, a critical step that helps preserve their color and softens them for the next stage, then dried thoroughly under the sun or in industrial dryers until they become brittle. Finally, these dried rhizomes are ground into the fine, vibrant powder that fills spice jars and market stalls across the world. The same powder responsible for staining fingers, countertops, and clothing a stubborn shade of gold. The reason turmeric has captured such enormous scientific attention comes down to its active compounds. Curcumin is the star of the show, a polyphenol compound responsible not only for turmeric's color, but also for much of its studied biological activity. Alongside curcumin, turmeric contains related compounds called curcuminoids, as well as volatile essential oils that contribute to its distinct earthy, slightly bitter, slightly peppery aroma. Turmeric also contains a range of antioxidants, natural compounds that help neutralize unstable molecules in the body known as free radicals, along with smaller amounts of vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, iron, potassium, and manganese. What makes curcumin particularly interesting to researchers is its complex biological behavior, its apparent ability to interact with multiple pathways in the body simultaneously, rather than targeting just one single mechanism. This complexity is exactly why turmeric has become one of the most researched botanical compounds in the world, generating thousands of scientific papers over the past few decades alone. Now let's explore what science and tradition actually tell us about turmeric's potential health benefits. Always with an important reminder: turmeric is not a cure for any disease, and no credible research supports that claim. What we can discuss is a growing, nuanced body of evidence suggesting turmeric may support various aspects of health. Evidence that spans traditional use, laboratory research, animal studies, and a smaller but expanding number of human clinical trials. Inflammation is where most of turmeric's modern scientific reputation begins. Chronic low-grade inflammation has become a major focus of medical research in recent decades, linked to a wide range of long-term health concerns. Curcumin has been extensively studied in laboratory settings for its potential anti-inflammatory properties, with researchers observing that it may influence certain inflammatory pathways within cells. This laboratory interest has translated into a substantial number of animal studies and, increasingly, human clinical trials, particularly regarding joint comfort. Several human studies have examined curcumin supplementation in people experiencing joint discomfort associated with osteoarthritis, with some trials suggesting modest improvements in comfort and mobility when curcumin was taken consistently over several weeks. Researchers investigating rheumatoid arthritis have also explored curcumin's potential role as a complementary approach alongside standard medical treatment, though it's important to stress that curcumin should never replace prescribed arthritis medication, and anyone with a diagnosed joint condition should work closely with their physician. Digestive health represents one of turmeric's oldest traditional applications. In Ayurvedic medicine, turmeric has been used for centuries to support healthy digestion, often prepared as a warm drink or added to meals believed to aid the digestive process. Some modern research suggests curcumin may help support the digestive system by encouraging healthy bile production, which plays a role in breaking down fats during digestion. This connects directly to turmeric's traditional use for liver and gallbladder support, since bile is produced by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. Traditional Chinese medicine similarly incorporated turmeric into formulas intended to support healthy liver function, and modern laboratory studies have examined curcumin's potential antioxidant effects on liver cells, though large-scale human clinical evidence in this specific area remains limited, and anyone with liver or gallbladder conditions should approach turmeric supplementation cautiously and under medical guidance, a point we'll return to later. Heart health and circulation represent another significant area of ongoing research. Some human studies have investigated whether curcumin supplementation may support healthy blood vessel function, with researchers particularly interested in something called endothelial function. Essentially, how well the inner lining of blood vessels performs its job of regulating blood flow and vascular tone. A small number of clinical trials have suggested curcumin may offer modest support in this area, though researchers are careful to note that these findings are still developing and should not be interpreted as a treatment for cardiovascular disease. Turmeric's antioxidant properties are often cited in this context as well, since oxidative stress is believed to play a role in cardiovascular aging. Brain health and memory have become an increasingly popular area of curcumin research in recent years. Scientists have long been curious about the noticeably lower rates of certain age-related cognitive concerns in populations with high dietary turmeric consumption, and this observation helped spark laboratory and animal research into curcumin's potential neuroprotective properties. Some studies suggest curcumin may help support healthy brain function by influencing antioxidant activity within brain tissue, and a handful of small human trials have explored curcumin supplementation in relation to memory and cognitive performance in older adults, with some reporting encouraging preliminary results. However, researchers consistently emphasize that this field is still in relatively early stages, and curcumin should be viewed as a potential area of interest for healthy aging support, not a proven cognitive treatment. Turmeric's antioxidant properties also connect to its traditional role in supporting healthy aging more broadly and in supporting the immune system. Free radical damage is a natural part of aging, and antioxidant-rich compounds like curcumin are believed by researchers to help the body manage this oxidative stress over time. In traditional Ayurvedic practice, turmeric was often consumed daily, frequently mixed with warm milk, as part of a broader lifestyle approach to maintaining vitality well into old age, a tradition that modern wellness culture has enthusiastically revived in the now famous golden milk trend. Blood sugar research is another actively developing area of turmeric science. Some laboratory and animal studies have explored curcumin's potential role in supporting healthy insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, and a limited number of human trials have investigated curcumin supplementation in people with blood sugar concerns, with some studies reporting modest supportive effects. That said, this research remains preliminary, and turmeric should never be used as a substitute for prescribed diabetes medication. Anyone managing blood sugar conditions should always consult their physician before adding curcumin supplements to their regimen, particularly given the potential for interaction with blood sugar-lowering medications, something we'll discuss further in the safety section. Weight management and metabolism have also drawn scientific curiosity, largely tied to turmeric's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, since chronic inflammation has been linked in research to metabolic challenges. Some animal studies suggest curcumin may influence fat tissue metabolism, though human evidence in this area remains limited and far from conclusive. Realistically, turmeric should be viewed as a supportive addition to an already balanced diet and active lifestyle, not a weight loss solution on its own, and anyone expecting dramatic results from turmeric alone is likely to be disappointed. For exercise recovery, some smaller human studies have examined whether curcumin supplementation might help reduce exercise-induced muscle soreness, given its studied anti-inflammatory properties. A few trials involving athletes and physically active individuals have reported modestly faster perceived recovery times, though again, this remains an emerging area of sports nutrition research rather than settled science, and results vary considerably between studies and individuals. Turning to general wellness, it's worth noting that much of turmeric's broader reputation comes not from any single dramatic effect, but from the cumulative, gentle support its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds may offer across multiple bodily systems simultaneously, which is precisely the kind of holistic benefit that traditional Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine practitioners described centuries before modern laboratories had the tools to investigate it. Now let's turn to turmeric's fascinating role in natural cosmetology, an area where tradition and modern beauty trends have beautifully collided. In India, turmeric has been used for centuries as part of traditional beauty rituals, most famously in pre-wedding ceremonies known as haldi ceremonies, where turmeric paste is applied to the skin of the bride and groom, believed to bring a natural glow and blessing before the wedding day. This tradition reflects turmeric's long-standing reputation for supporting healthy, radiant-looking skin. Turmeric's antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties have made it a popular ingredient in natural face masks, often combined with ingredients like honey, yogurt, or sandalwood, traditionally used to help calm minor skin irritation and support an even-looking skin tone. Some people use turmeric paste as a spot treatment for occasional blemishes, drawn to its traditional reputation for calming inflamed skin, though it's worth noting that turmeric can temporarily stain the skin a yellowish tint, something to keep in mind before any special occasion. In hair care, turmeric has traditionally been used in scalp treatments, sometimes combined with coconut oil, believed to support a healthy scalp environment, though as with many traditional beauty practices, large-scale scientific confirmation remains limited, and most of this evidence rests on generations of passed-down practice rather than clinical trials. Beyond its medicinal and cosmetic uses, turmeric is, of course, beloved in kitchens around the world, and its culinary versatility is a huge part of why it has remained so present in daily life for thousands of years. Golden milk, a warm beverage made by simmering turmeric with milk, a touch of black pepper, and often cinnamon or ginger, has become one of the most popular modern wellness drinks, though it's rooted in centuries-old Ayurvedic tradition. Turmeric tea, made simply by steeping the ground spice or fresh grated rhizome in hot water, offers a gentler, more subtle way to enjoy its earthy flavor. In Indian cuisine, turmeric forms the base of countless curries, lentil dishes, and rice preparations, providing both color and a warm, slightly bitter depth of flavor that balances beautifully with other spices like cumin, coriander, and chili. Turmeric also appears in soups, roasted vegetable dishes, and even smoothies, where a small pinch adds color and subtle flavor without overwhelming other ingredients. One common mistake people make when cooking with turmeric is using far too much, since its flavor can quickly turn bitter and overpowering in large quantities. A small pinch or half a teaspoon is usually more than enough for most dishes. Another important culinary detail worth mentioning is the role of black pepper. Turmeric is often paired with black pepper in traditional cooking, and modern research has actually helped explain why. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, has been shown in studies to significantly enhance the body's absorption of curcumin, which on its own is not particularly well absorbed by the digestive system. This means that a curry made with both turmeric and black pepper may allow the body to make better use of curcumin than turmeric consumed entirely on its own. A small culinary detail with a surprisingly meaningful scientific explanation. As wonderful as turmeric is, it's important to approach it thoughtfully, particularly when it comes to concentrated supplements rather than culinary use. For most people, using turmeric as a cooking spice is considered safe and has been part of daily diets for thousands of years without issue. However, concentrated curcumin supplements, which deliver much higher doses than typical cooking amounts, require more caution. People with gallbladder disease or gallstones should avoid turmeric supplements, since turmeric may stimulate gallbladder contractions, which could potentially worsen symptoms in someone with an existing gallbladder condition. Similarly, people prone to kidney stones should be cautious with concentrated turmeric supplements, since turmeric contains oxalates, compounds that can contribute to certain types of kidney stone formation in susceptible individuals. Turmeric supplements may also interact with certain medications, including blood thinners, since curcumin may have mild blood-thinning properties of its own, as well as diabetes medications and certain acid-reducing medications. Anyone currently taking prescription medication, particularly blood thinners, diabetes medication, or medication for stomach acid, should consult a healthcare provider before beginning concentrated curcumin supplementation. Pregnant individuals are generally advised to enjoy turmeric in normal culinary amounts as part of food, while avoiding high-dose supplements unless specifically approved by their doctor. It's also worth understanding clearly that culinary turmeric, the spice used in cooking, and concentrated curcumin supplements, often sold in capsule form with much higher potency, are quite different in terms of dosage and potential effects, and this distinction matters enormously when considering safety. As with any herbal substance, turmeric should complement professional medical care, never replace it, and anyone with an existing health condition should always check with their doctor before adding concentrated turmeric supplements to their routine. Turmeric's cultural story stretches back thousands of years and across entire continents. In Ayurvedic medicine, one of the world's oldest continuously practiced healing systems, turmeric has held a place of honor for more than 4,000 years, used in countless preparations aimed at supporting overall vitality and balance within the body. Traditional Chinese medicine similarly incorporated turmeric into its own herbal traditions, valuing it for its warming properties and its believed ability to support healthy circulation. Along ancient trade routes, turmeric traveled from South Asia to the Middle East, to East Africa, and eventually to Europe, carried by merchants who recognized its value both as a spice and as a natural dye. In fact, turmeric has historically been used to dye fabrics, particularly monks' robes in parts of Southeast Asia, prized for its vivid, sun-like golden color that seemed to symbolize both purity and prosperity. This vivid coloring is precisely why turmeric earned its enduring nickname, the Golden Spice, a title that captures both its literal appearance and its treasured status across so many cultures throughout history. In more recent decades, modern scientific discoveries have brought turmeric back into the global spotlight in an entirely new way, with thousands of published studies exploring curcumin's biological properties, transforming what was once considered simply a kitchen spice into one of the most scientifically scrutinized botanical compounds in the world, studied in universities and research institutions on every continent. There is something remarkable about a single golden root connecting ancient temple ceremonies in India to modern research laboratories studying molecular biology. Turmeric represents a rare and beautiful meeting point between ancient wisdom and contemporary science, a place where centuries of traditional healing knowledge are finally being examined, tested, and understood through the careful lens of modern research. It reminds us that some of the most powerful discoveries in nature were never truly lost, only waiting patiently for science to catch up to what generations of healers already believed. The next time you see that unmistakable golden powder sitting quietly in a spice jar, or watch it dissolve into a warm glass of milk, perhaps you'll see it a little differently, not just as a spice, but as a living thread connecting 4,000 years of human curiosity, tradition, and the endless, fascinating pursuit of understanding what nature has been offering us all along.